Okay, here we are. Thank you very much for the really warm introduction. I need all 18 minutes as quickly as possible, so I'm going to be moving really quick. Amazing speakers today. I'm really happy that the bar is super high for me to try and finish on a really good level. Now, my title of my presentation is Screw Your Analytics. Why? Because I love having a nemesis. I love having an opposite to push away from. And I'm going to talk through my presentation exactly what does that mean. For those who haven't had the pleasure of meeting, such a wonderful introduction, Mick Griffin, Head of Growth at Traffitt, and that really doesn't matter today. What's going to matter is hopefully some great slides that will really help you. So when I got invited to speak here, obviously being in the Polish sector, I knew about I Love Marketing, and I always wanted to speak here. And then I had a revelation. And the fundamental thing was that I actually don't love marketing. I came from a sales background, and why I fell out of love with marketing was because I believe that we've been pushed into playing things too safe, into trying to follow a template, which is that we know that there are 4 or 5 categories, 4 or 5 channels that every business should have, every business should start with. And then what we do is when we've got those 4 or 5 channels, we put all our eggs in those baskets, and then we try to optimize them using our analytics. So if a keyword is working in Google, what we're going to do is going to try and find the second one. If we are ranking number 3 for a keyword on Google, we want to rank number 2 or number 1. But fundamentally, this leaves us with some gaps, because as much as I think analytics are valuable, the first thing is, they can only tell you if what you are already doing is working. They can only tell you if what the visitors to your website are doing that you already have. It can show you what doesn't work, but it might not be able to show you why. I mean, the amount of times in my companies when a conversion has been down for 3 days and we dig into the analytics, and on day 4 it goes back up. And we didn't do anything about it. We just spent 3 days trying to find the problem. And fundamentally, it can't always tell you what to do next. What's the next thing you should do? And we have a challenge in a lot of our businesses that we want to play here. We want to get as many sales as possible. And when we can't get sales directly, we want to get the leads who want to buy as quickly as possible, our sales qualified leads. If we can't get enough sales qualified leads, we'll go and get some marketing leads. And then maybe if we can't fill the funnel, we'll go do some branding. But there is a big psychological and a big financial challenge with that, which is the closer you want to be to the sale with a person that you've never met before, quite traditionally, that's the most expensive place to go and play. You want to go be number 1 for, I'm ready to buy a CRM keyword in Google, you better be able to pay a lot per click. And this is challenging because let's look at the flip side of this. And this is something that probably everybody in the room has experienced, is you have all these channels, and then one of them starts to shrink. And suddenly Google changes an algorithm, or TikTok does. Or events become more expensive to sponsor, to exhibit at. So your ROI becomes out of joint. You can't afford to do it anymore. Or sometimes in the worst case scenario, an entire channel disappears. And it's like having a chair with 4 legs and you have to take one away. And why I'm so against this analytical approach, or why I want to open the eyes of people for this, is because I think that what businesses have done, when that happened, they just cut costs because they were out of ideas. Our 5 core pillars, our performance marketing that was growing the business at 200% year on year, stopped working. Oh my goodness, let's cut some costs. So ready for the best slide transition I've ever made. Yeah. That took me 4 hours. No, I'm joking. It wasn't so bad. So what I want to do is I want to take you on a journey with me today. We talked about storytelling and journeys a lot today, which is, let's imagine we don't have analytics tools just for today. And then the second thing I want to do on this journey is I want you to imagine that marketing could be fun. Not just fun, but really fun. So I said to my team back at Traffitt, how can I show the audience something that is nothing to do with value, but only will make them smile? And their answer was to blindfold me, shoot me in the face with a Nerf gun in slow motion. And then my other team member said, well, let's try to get the audience to be a little bit sympathetic with you. So they decided to wax my arm hair. Now, Look, it still didn't grow back. No, but why did I do this? It's because not everything we have to do has to have a logical journey all the way to sale, all the way to money. Sometimes we can do things just to take people on a journey. Now, this is my crazy hypothesis, and you can sit there and go, Mick, okay, but that's yours. And what I'm very lucky at, I don't know if many people know this document, but this is Nike's core values, Nike shoes. And there's 4 things right here that actually got my attention, which is, one of their values is to be on the offense all the time. A couple of the other speakers have mentioned this. We can spend 2 weeks in pause mode looking at analytics and trying to find something that we can squeeze a little bit more out of. But on the other hand, we could be doing new things during those 2 weeks. It's as much about the battle as it is about the business, which is, let's not be afraid to only do things that we are guaranteed to work, but let's try to do the things that sometimes are really scary and hard, but we want to do them. Living off the land, which means I know so many marketers that say like, oh, I'd love to do that campaign you did, but I just didn't have the budget. Laptop, smartphone, we talked about it today. You know, we can do so much with so little. And if we do the right thing, we should make money. And this is that leap of faith. I've done it in my career so many times when we stop doing a podcast or we stop doing a webinar because the analytics trail didn't take me to sale, didn't take me to leads. But 2 weeks later, organic started to drop. Direct started to drop. And you're like, why? Yeah, because what we have to do is sometimes we have to believe. We have to bridge the gap that analytics will not give us. Now, this is the traditional funnel. And I want to show you what I call the inverted funnel, which is how I play at Traffic. And I say play because it's fun. Instead of looking for people who are the closest to buy my product, I look at my ideal customer persona and what problem they have. Then what I do, I look if I can solve that as a business. Then I say, if I've solved that problem for that customer, or that potential customer, can I create a journey and connect them finally to my product and turn them into a sale? So where I believe a traditional marketing strategy, a traditional marketing big funnel looks like this, what we built at Traffic looked like, did you like that? That was also 4 hours of work. But now, the other thing to know is that I showed this slide to someone and said, oh, that was really good for graphical effect. This is not graphical effect. Welcome to my strategy. This is what we do at Traffic. And when I was making this presentation, I checked that in the last 28 months at Traffic, we've had 32 marketing projects. 32, because what I'm trying to do here is spread ourselves out, to try new things, to be constantly moving forward instead of having all our eggs in one basket. So how did we do it? What's the strategy? So the first thing is we have to go back to the fundamentals that so many people have talked about today on stage, which is, what do our ideal customers care about? Now, I will ask people this and they'll say they care about more functionality in the CRM backend or a better API. We have to get to more fundamental things that they care about. And Michał Sadowski, who's a great friend of mine and is speaking tomorrow, used to say, what do they wake up on a Monday morning caring about? They don't care about features. They care about things that are going to make their life easier, better, save them money, make them money. I'm ahead of growth. I care about sales and revenues and leads, not the functionality in my CRM. Can I sincerely help them without hurting my business? Like, lots of my customers have lots of problems, but I can't always connect them all. I can't make that journey sometimes. And then 3, can we do it in a way that someone else hasn't done? Yes, of course, what I wanted to do during the break was grab a guitar and learn how to play in 20 minutes using YouTube. But as soon as it was done in such a fantastic way, it was done. The second person to ever come to I Love Marketing and wear a Sherlock Holmes hat will not have the same effect. So let me give you some examples. This is not just theory for me. So my ideal customer persona is a head of HR at Traffic. And I know that they want to learn and develop. They have fantastic urge for education. But there's lots of low-quality free content online that they've decided now that they've lost a lot of trust in. There are some fantastic, very strong educational materials online that cost money, but then there's a problem. HR have very low self-esteem, so they're not willing to go and ask the CEO for a budget. They're not willing to say, can I go to I Love HR conference? I hope they do in 2 months here, but they don't like asking for money because they already feel low. You all know people in HR. You all know that they are not treated as well as they could be. So I had to turn that into a real problem, which was, I need a way to show my worth. I need to show people I'm growing, but without asking for permission. And I thought to myself, okay, well, can I solve this problem? Can I create high-quality content that's accessible without asking for permission and provides proof of development? And what we did at Traffic, we took a swing and we created something called Traffic Campus, which was we went out there, we charged 45 zlotys to buy it. Why? Because free was burned. I would love to do it for free, but people wouldn't trust it. We took 4 influencers off the market and asked them to be educators, and we paid them to do it so that it wasn't going to be connected to product. And everybody that completed the campus course got a certificate. Furthermore, of that 45 zlotys, we decided to plant trees instead of being determined or shown that we are making profit from it. So we had to tick a lot of boxes. Now, it cost me 16,000 zlotys to make that campaign. 885 people purchased that campus, that Traffic Campus. So it cost me 19 zlotys per lead, but the biggest takeaway here for me, I'm a marketer, I'm in sales. 885 people paid to become my lead. And they did it because we solved a pain. Furthermore, over 125 people shared their certificates online. So we got all that extra awareness as well. That would have cost me thousands and thousands of euros in ad campaigns by focusing on the customer and what their problem was. Here's another one. Thank God no one spoke before me has ever opened a library before, because I saw that HR professionals were trying to resell books that they bought because they were trying to sell books for 10 zlotys, 20 zlotys, and I realized the problem. Books are hard to buy because they're expensive. HR people traditionally don't have huge salaries. They are not cash rich, it seems, and that's not my opinion. I was basing on a problem that I found on the way. So I had to think to myself, can I help people who are selling books? Can I help people who are looking for books? And can I do it better than it's been done before? So what if a library, a book club, and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince had a baby? That was my crazy idea. This is what happens when you have ADHD and a ton of Red Bull. So this is what we did at Traffic. A week ago, we launched this. We launched Traffic Library. What did I do? For the last 4 months, I bought every second-hand book I could find on the market. Why? Because I built a relationship with the seller. They are like, oh, thank God Traffic bought my book. Solve the problem, build a relationship. Then what we decided to do is took all the books, we put them on an online database and said, hey, listen, you can take books from our library for 3 weeks for free. We will send them to you. And then finally, what we said was, how can we make this different than any other library? And this was my little Half-Blood Prince for any Harry Potter. Luckily, by the way, this was the 4th time Harry Potter was referenced today, so I wasn't the only one. We said, write in the book. Break that rule that you were taught as a teenager that you could never do. Make the book have a lifetime, have a journey. Write your name in it, write the comments that you liked, all these things that and suddenly people started to be really excited about this thing that they were never allowed to do before. Since last week, we have already 250 members because it's increasing today. 50 books have been sent out by my team, and we created a 100% attention environment. That's what really excites me about this. Now, Piotr talked about this before. Think about when you get an email. You're reading it probably on your phone, on your laptop, you've got notifications, you're doing other things. Now think about the time when you get a delivery. You take your box, you put it on the table, and you're in the zone. You're excited about what's in the box. What does that matter to me? That means that as this project progresses, I can influence that experience. I can put a promo code in there along with your book. I can put a thank you note. I've got finally an experience where people are inviting me into their homes through the box. Yeah? And it's costing me 6 zlotys to send the book. 6 zlotys, that's all it's costing me. And of course, we're very lucky because we have social proofs that people want to do this. People are excited about it. People are saying, wow, library, we've never heard about it before. What's a shame about this is the second company to do it might not have the same effect, so we've got to take that leap of faith. And one other example, remember, I've got 32, I'd love to tell you them all, but I can't. We had the same thing that nobody was hosting cool events for HR people. They were all boring events where you sit in a suit and a tie and so on, and we said, okay, how can we make them feel better? So we decided that we would create an event for HR people that has nothing to do with selling. My team want to make presentations there, and I tell them no. And it cost me 4,000 zlotys. There's one going on right now in Gdańsk, and I'm really missing it, which is a shame. But basically, we've had over 600 people over the last 4 events sign up for our traffic connectors, we call it. 350 people have met in person. Again, 100% attention environments. It's slightly different than the leads that I get from my ebooks or my downloads. Why should we do this? Why can I sell this approach to you? Because you know what? It's really great as a business to learn what doesn't work. Yeah, the famous quote that Einstein didn't fail making the light bulb 1,000 times. He learned 999 times how not to make a light bulb. Why it matters? Because this is my marketing strategy. And when an idea either doesn't work, which we have plenty of ideas that fall on their face, or an idea fizzles out, my whole marketing strategy doesn't fall to pieces. It's like a massive game of Jenga. You can take a piece out and the tower doesn't fall down. Now, what we have to understand, there's a little bit of a trick here, which is that, yeah, Mick, okay, but someone who signs up for a library to get a book from you, what do you do next? And that's the key missing piece that actually took us a little while to learn at Traffic, that not every lead is the same lead. So what I mean by that is, yes, we might have a sales qualified lead who is like, Mick, I want to learn about Traffic as a product. That's great. But all these different projects that we run, they have different degrees of distance from the decision-making process, and we can't skip it. If you got a LinkedIn message from me tomorrow saying, "Oh, it was great to meet you at I Love Marketing. Will you have a product demo?" You'd be like, "What? Yeah, like go away." So I've got to go. Okay, hey, listen, it was great to meet you at I Love Marketing. I've got a webinar that I think would be perfect for you. We've got to let them go on a journey and not be impatient and try to rush. And that's what these companies do when you've got 4 or 5 big pots of lead generation and one dies. What you normally see these companies do. They either throw money or they cut costs. By spreading yourselves out, by doing the things that other people are not doing, you're able to grow your business and you leave yourself way little risk. I'm shocked that I'm on time. I'm so happy about that. Thank you for everyone for the attention. Here are my 3 takeaways if you want to make this kind of strategy. 1, there are no rules. If I would have said to a marketing manager, "Can I open a library?" they would have been, "Are you okay? Have you drank too much today?" There are no rules. You get to break the rules. We sometimes get caught doing things that we think we should be doing, but not what we want to do. Second rule, be okay with failing, but fail fast and fail forward. It's much easier to fall down going that way than going back down the hill. So keep moving, keep the projects going, and then if you fail, you learn and you move on. And the third one, never stop moving forward. Always be on offense. And the nice little takeaway from that is that it scares the shit out of your competition. It's amazing. They don't know what to do. So this one for the non-poller says, the last thing I always like to say is that marketing is very, very hard. Sometimes we all have imposter syndrome. I've talked to every speaker about imposter syndrome today. You're doing a fantastic job. Try to just keep doing it. Thank you very much. Thank you for the attention. Thank you.